Someone I'm wondering how familiar you are with them is Gary Clark Jr.
Yeah, I have never really listened to Gary Clark before, but I always kind of been aware of him. I believe he was at Governor's Ball. One of the times I went, people had mentioned him to me as someone worth checking out. Of course, had some scheduled conflicts, so I didn't do that. But um, when I saw this album was coming out, and I think it was originally supposed to come out next week or Friday rather, but moved it up a little bit, and I was like, all right, I'll finally jump in and see what this dude's all about. Pretty much blind. I don't think I'd ever really listened to him before. Um, and I was definitely impressed. But I mean, are you a big GCJ fan? Like, have you seen him before?
Um, I can't remember if I've seen it. I would bet I have probably at Firefly, but if I did, I don't think it was something I was really up front for. I was probably chilling out for, in the back. But he's a really interesting artist. So he's really well known for his live performances because he is just incredible as a guitarist. And back in 2010, he was hand selected by Eric Clapton to perform at Crossroads Guitar Festival after I think Clapton saw him at like a smaller venue in Texas somewhere. And that really started to propel his rise to stardom. Now, this is his third album. And his first couple albums, Black and Blue from 2012, and then Story of Sonny Boy Slim, they've gotten some notoriety. He's blue, so it's interesting. You think about rock as a dying genre of music in general, and then you really think of blues rock as a dead genre of music. So he's not really playing music that is very popular right now. And I think on this land, he tries to become a little bit more classic mainstream rock, maybe even infusing some like soul R&B sound into it. Um, and I think he does all facets of it pretty well. When he does make a blues song, it's pretty good. When he makes a classic rock song, it's pretty good. And I think that he's willing to try things, which I give him a lot of credit for. I don't know if all of it lands, but I thought overall this was a really solid album. Did you like it?
Yeah, I did like it, and I was actually impressed with how much was there's a lot of variety here, and I was like, all
Mhm.
right, this is 70-minute album,
Yeah.
rock artist 2019, asking a lot.
Hmm.
But I think the variety, as you spoke to, made it a pretty refreshing listen. And also the fact that generally speaking, uh, this guy goes fucking hard. You
Yeah.
know, the guitar is great. And frankly, uh, we need more of that. And at least for my tastes, I like to hear this hard ass rock.
Hmm.
And you know, it's not like that's all he did was just jam out the whole time. As you said, he
Hmm.
kind of jumps in and around genres within the sphere, right? And I think like a song like "When I'm Gone" definitely has like a more like a softer hook,
Hmm.
but then you can just follow that up with something else that's equally interesting, whether he just jams more, you know.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with the variety of hooks, the variety of his vocals, while also appreciating how consistent the guitar work was. So, uh, as someone who was really unfamiliar with what actually was Gary Clark's MO, I'm definitely a fan. I think this is probably, I mean, like I can really see myself like slipping in Gary Clark Jr. songs within like a party playlist, and I haven't really felt that way about much rock music apart from like a few like Beth songs and like a few
Mm.
other things here and there. So I think that in terms of like still being true to like rock music as its identity while also feeling like a part of the current moment, I think is not done often in rock right now. So I was very happy with it.
Yeah, I was actually pretty nervous about how this album was going to go when I heard "This Land," the title single, because it's a pretty angry song talking about you know um, how Trump and politics have affected immigration and just what it means to be a person in this country in a lot of ways, especially coming from Texas. Gary Clark Jr.'s and kind of around a lot of the debate around the wall and things like that. And it also uses a little bit more like a EDM sound to it, or there's at least a little more electronics in it to
Yeah.
produce it. but then he really falls back more into his bread and butter, which is classic rock, soul, blues, and he does that really well. Whether it's Pearl Cadillac, you already mentioned When I'm Gone, which are more soulful songs. Um, Gotta Get Something comes in. It's a pure, fast paced, just like guitar slamming song right from the get go. Just makes you want to like again run through a wall, to bring back a phrase from earlier. Um, but yeah, I think overall, whether he's doing blues, whether he's like on I think it was low down Rolling Stone, I thought was a really good blues song. He's able to move in and out of genres pretty seamlessly, and he's just a really good artist. I'm really excited to see what he does next, and I'm sure it'll be a couple of years before we get another album from him, but he'll be on some features, doing some touring. If you can see him at a festival or a live show near you, I'd really recommend it, just because he is a showman. Like, he's awesome lives. Check it out.